Hello guys and welcome to Cars at 100, and on today's review I have 2024 Mazda CX-90 3.3 Turbo Preferred Plus, brand new car by Mazda. We're gonna look at this car from the outside, check this car on the inside, and check out the window sticker for some of the options for this Preferred Plus trim. So let's not waste any more time and let's jump into it. Okay, now let's start from the front as usual of this exterior. It's a brand new design, new language for the Mazda design. Really interesting, and they have their own way of approaching design. Look at these headlights, turn signals here integrated into the grille. Car looks sharp. You have a new grille, you have some sensors behind that logo, and generally speaking this Preferred Plus doesn't look like it's missing a lot of things. Probably have certain aspects that other fully loaded Mazda CX-90s have, but the biggest difference is the rim size. As you can see, it's only 19-inch. You can get much bigger and much sharper looking rims on this car. You have 265, 55 are 19-inch rims and tires all around. You have different aspects of trim. This would be chrome on the upper trims, and as you can see here, you have inline 6-liter engine that is 3.3 liter for this brand new generation of engine that is this way mounted, not this way like it was on CX-9. So that's a big difference compared to the previous generation of Mazda CX-9. As we go around here, you have this sleek back look. As you can see, the profile of this vehicle is very cool looking. You have a long hood and you have a sleek back design of this kind of a boxy shape, but it's not boxy shape. You don't compromise any headroom as well as the trunk space, and Mazda has done a great job designing this car. Basically, utility wise, it's also very good as an everyday car. As we go around here, you have the rear tail lights here, and they are also LEDs. The turn signals pulsate and they look really cool. You have a mild electric drive here, Sky Active G, which gives you small hybrid boost for this engine. And you also have a hybrid version of this car, which is a 4-cylinder real hybrid compared to this mild hybrid. You have CX-90 all-wheel drive badge here, and as you can see, the profile of this car is really nice. You have the arches and hunches for this car, and it looks cool, it looks sporty. It doesn't look boring as an SUV, and these tires look very chunky on this car. In terms of the design, you don't have a lot of chrome. This is Preferred Plus. Go upper trim and you have chrome here, chrome here. You have more chrome aspects compared to this vehicle particularly. Side door mounted rear mirrors, and you have a keyless entry, keyless go with the sensors on this door handle, which I will show you in a little bit. But generally speaking, the design of this CX-90 is much cooler in terms of sportiness, I would say. I can't wait until these engines go down the model line to the CX-50. This is more of a BMW X5, mid X5, X7 type of car. I would say more X7, a competitor here because of the long and large design as well as 3 rows. Now let's check out this car on the inside and see what this brand new CX-90 is all about. In order to enter this CX-90, you have the key fob here. You have the buttons on the side of this key fob, and you have a Mazda logo up front. You also have a remote start on this car. It would be convenient if the button was located here, but unfortunately you have to do it through the app. You can also keep this key fob in your pocket, lock the car with sensor here, and unlock the car with the sensor behind the door opener handle. And just like this, we will enter this Mazda CX-90. This material choice here is mostly soft materials. You have some plastic trim here and there, but it doesn't look cheap, except this part here. I would say there is some budget in terms of Preferred Plus. It's a fully Japanese car, which I will show you from the window sticker. You have the 2 bottle holders here. You have stitching here that is in this gold color or beige color. You have soft, very soft material here and padding. You have soft touch materials here. You have the chrome with this interesting design. Now in terms of the windows, you have automatic up and down for all 4 size mirror adjustment buttons here as well. A nice door opener handle with lock and unlock button here. And you have soft touch up top. Bass sound system, you can also option Bose sound system, which is really good. In terms of the entrance, I would think that it would be a little bit larger, but it's convenient to enter and exit this car. And these bolstering are quite rough, surprisingly. They are bolstering here that is a little bit softer up top, but seats are comfortable. They have perforation and they have stitching here, this beige color. Also, you have a CX-90 logo on the carpets there, and base looking pedals, floor mounted gas pedal as well. One more sporty feature for this CX-90. If we jump inside, nice solid feel in terms of the build for this Mazda CX-90. Mazda is really proud in terms of the designing here. I would say it's very serious looking design compared to other cars on the market. In terms of the steering wheel as well, it looks very interesting. I like this chunky design here for the bottom trim of the steering wheel. You have 10 and 2 notches here. You have options to control your Bluetooth as well as your media controls here. And you have a cruise control options here. You have also digital display there in the middle with analog kind of mixed together. And if we start the car just like this, gauge display there, you can change many different features to show you some information for this car. And it's nicely integrated in this round bezel there. Different design than any other Japanese car out there. Trim, the choices for the vents, it looks different and it's welcome here. You have soft touch materials up top. You have this infotainment, which is quite quirky. It doesn't have a touch screen. You have climate control options here with buttons, as you can see. Kind of a rare thing nowadays with everything touch that company is doing, but Mazda decided to still give you this minimalistic looking climate control options here with display as well. You don't have to fiddle in the infotainment. It is more convenient to just have a muscle memory to just press the buttons and it's right there. You don't have to fish for them in the infotainment system, which is a big deal. And you can just turn on and turn off climate controls through this button here. Convenient, very easy to use. Temperature gauges there. I would say it's a good design. In terms of this mid, the cup holders here, cup holders on a small side. For such a big car, I would expect a bigger cup holders that would be adjustable, but it's good. You have the wireless charger here as well as a 12-volt power outlet there. In terms of drive modes, you have normal, which the car starts with. Then you have sport once you go up, and then you go off-road, give you some of the options for the off-road. This display changes and that's cool. It's called My Drive. You have a hill descent assist here, and you have this interesting transmission lever here. You press the button there and then you can move it to reverse, which will give you backup camera without trajectory, which is interesting. Neutral, and then you go drive and you can control it. It's like manual, kind of analog, kind of digital. Still, it's not connected with anything physically, but it gives you those features in terms of the manual adjustability, I would say. Then you go here again like this. This is the controls for your infotainment. Since it is not touchscreen, you have to use it through here. For the infotainment that Mazda provides, you have knob here as well for your volume. Reminds me of Alfa Romeo cars. You have automatic parking brake here, and you have auto hold, which is when you're on a traffic light, it'll hold the brake for you. In terms of the infotainment here, you have many different options that you can go through. You have settings, navigation, communication, entertainment, information, and it's pretty fast, I would say. Everything's laid out nicely. I just don't understand why they couldn't provide for their own infotainment a touchscreen option. You have a hazard button here located right in your face, right next to infotainment. Would be nicely minimalistic if it was here as a small button, but I guess this is an important button in a car. You have the favorites button here as well, and you have some options to control. You can go to navigation, but navigation does not exist if you do not option, but you can use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay as navigation once you connect it there, so it's not that big of a deal. Important thing about this touchscreen is this infotainment is that you don't get touchscreen on the preferred plus version of the car, which this car is. So if you want to get a touchscreen for the Apple CarPlay, you still have to option this car and get that kind of a touchscreen only for the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This car doesn't have it either way. So that's one thing to know and keep that in mind. And in terms of the storage, you have two USB Type-Cs here, and it's not that deep. I would assume it would be a little bit deeper in terms of the storage here. At least double this size would be okay for such a wide space, but it's here, and you can close it and open it two different ways. Now, in terms of the glove box, you have a big space for the glove box, and it's felt lined, kind of a luxury aspect to this car as well. And this trim here different from the top of the dashboard, and this display, it's kind of floating, but it's not really, it's still tablet design, but it's not really that much pronounced like some BMWs do. And you have some options for the auto dimming rear view mirror here, and you have a glasses holder there, and you have some vanity lights, and yeah, this, as well as the sunroof here. You don't have a panoramic sunroof in this car. In terms of the window sticker, you can pause the video at any second and see all the options and standard equipment for this car. $47,275 for this car in this review, and 25 miles per gallon combined with 24 in the city, 28 on the highway. And as you can see here, final assembly point for this car is Hofu, Japan, designed and built in Japan. Now let's check out the back seats. You have this 90-degree opening, which is comfortable to enter and exit this car. Very important, not a lot of cars do this. And you have the window shades here that you can pull up or pull down to have even better kind of a dimming environment, as well as the tints in the back doors here. You have the same trim and same touch aspects as up front. And you have three sections here for the bottles. You have a speaker housing there as well. Stitching steps here to enter the second row, and you have a third row option in this car as well. And in order to enter the third row, you press this button and you can move the seat up, which is a little bit harder than I thought. It's supposed to be easier, I would say, but not that easy. You have a perforation here, you have stitching, same aspects as up front in terms of the seats. And if we jump inside, we have options here for the climate control in the back, which is third-way climate control. And you have two USB Type-Cs to basically charge your devices in the back. You have pockets here and here, plenty of legroom here. This seat is almost all the way back, and you have a plenty of headroom here. I'm 6 feet tall, and seat is reclined up. But generally speaking, I would say it's a good car for large families. And now let's check out the third row. In order to enter the third row, you click this button here, and you have to move this out of the way, and like this you'll have the third row here. And in terms of the entrance, you have plenty of headroom here, as you can see. And when you put this here, you have plenty of legroom here. If this is moved a little bit further back, you'll have less legroom here. Still, you would not be uncomfortable, I would say. You have two cup holders on each side there, and you have a USB Type-C on each side to charge your devices. And now let's check out the trunk space. You have to have a key fob in your pocket, and you can just open it with the button under the logo there, just like this. Here you have a lot of space in this trunk because you have a third row that is not up right now. So if you fold it down, as well as the second row, if you fold it down, you'll have a lot of trunk space in this car. And as you can see, you have the storage here under the floor of the trunk as well, and not a lot of space, but you can put something like paper towels. And you have a 12-volt power outlet here as well, some hooks that you can use. And because the roof is not coming down too hard, you have here a lot of space. I hope you enjoyed today's review of this 2024 Mazda CX-90 3.3 Turbo Preferred Plus. If you have any questions about this car, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Also, if you're interested in leasing or financing any car, refer to the company behind me. I'll also include their information in the description box if you have any questions. And I'll see you next time. Stay loving cars.